Okay, so the last thing that we're going to look at now is how we can create a cinematic, a sort of animation of camera moves that show off your environment that you created before you go into walking around the level. So before we do that, we're going to create a new folder and we'll call it cinematic. And open that up. And if we right click inside there, we're looking for a sequencer object. So go to animation and you'll see level sequence. So we're going to call that shots, and then we're going to create a couple more. I'm going to create two more. So shot one, create one more, animations, shot two. I'll save all that. Okay, so they're the sequence players for the shots. So I've shot one and shot two, and we'll put shot one and shot two inside shots, and that's the cinematic that will play at the beginning of the level. Obviously you can have more than one shot if you wish, but for now we'll just use two. So next thing is we need some cameras to give us some views. So a good tip is to get a nice vantage point to start off your view. Let's say we're going to have a starting point of a camera that is going to rotate across the scene like so. So you get a good sense of there's a tree, there's a castle, and there's a pool, and we want the camera to start here. So go into actors and just type in camera, and then drag that camera into the scene, and you'll see a physical camera, and you also see the view of that camera. Now we want this camera to match up with our view. Dead easy to do. Right click on the camera and go snap object to view, and suddenly it's matching our view. That's because the camera, if we zoom out, you can see the camera has been moved to our position. So that's the first camera, and we're going to animate this camera inside shot one. So we double click on shot one and we get the sequence player, and instead of the camera actor, can call camera actor, we'll call it camera shot one. And I'm going to drag that camera into there, and this is where we can animate the camera. You might want to move up that view. Dead easy to do. In the transforms, remember we've got it's 5 seconds, but you can make it longer than that if you wish, but 5 seconds is fine. So we'll click on keyframe, just like we did with the gate, and move that up to 5 seconds. And then all we're going to do is we're going to rotate this camera. Okay, and that'll give us a nice pan across the scene to there. And if we move the slider, you can see we've got a nice view, and you can play that back to see what it looks like. As you can see, there's that view. Okay, so we'll save that, and we'll go back to the content browser, but this time we're going to create shot two, and we're going to have another camera view, but this time it's going to be an aerial shot. Okay, and we're going to add a new camera. Let's move that camera through there, and then this time just right click on it and go snap object to view. We've got the same view now, but this time this camera is going to glide across the scene. So we open up shot two, drag in that camera, obviously I'll call it camera 2, and I'm going to drag that camera into the shot 2 sequence and do the same thing again. 5 seconds is fine. Click on there, drag that to 5 seconds, and obviously with the camera selected, it's going as its local axis. If you click on that little box there, it will go to a world axis. So when we move the camera, it seamlessly moves across the scene. Okay. And you can also animate the camera if you wish, so it rotates. But for now, I'm just showing you how to do this, so that's fine. So we can test that, see what it looks like. Okay. Might be running a bit too fast, but you can always tweak that and change it. Changing the duration of the shot's dead easy at the bottom here. So it's 5.5 seconds, so I'll just change that to, let's say, 10 seconds. Zoom out. As you can see, we move the length of the animation to 10 seconds. Well, just a bit less than that. And then we just make this sequence a little bit longer. Okay, and then we just move that keyframe to the top. And now it takes longer to move along. And as you can see, it's moving a lot more slowly now. So that's that second shot done. And then we need to put these both together now inside the shot sequencer. So double click on the shot sequencer. But this time in the track settings, select shot track. And then we can add the shots. So the one that we want is shot 1 to begin with. And then we add another shot, shot 2. And we can plonk on the end of that one. Obviously we need to make the sequence longer, so I'll just go 20. I think that might give us enough space. Yep. And just make sure the sliders to the end of that shot. Okay, so that's shot 1 and shot 2. So we can test that now. So if we click on this little icon, that will show us the view of the cameras, and when we click on play, it should play through the first shot, and then it'll snap to the second shot. Okay. That's fine. And then save that. And just go back to content. Now, we want this shot to play straight away. So if we drag that into the scene and look at the details, we don't want it to loop, we just want it to play once, but we want it to autoplay. And if you click on autoplay, this will play first, and then you won't be able to control the player. Because if you look down, disable movement, disable lookup input. Okay, we can ignore the others, but what this will do is it'll stop you from controlling the player while the cinematic is playing. So let's just save that. Let's test that. Okay, so as you can see there, the cinematic played first, and then we go inside the game. Okay, hope that's you can implement that in your game now.